Okay, let's unpack this. Today we're doing a deep dive into a really crucial part of South Asian history. We're looking at the military conflicts between India and Pakistan right from 1947 onwards. We've got some key documents here, summaries of the major flashpoints. And our mission, really, is to get past just the dates and facts. We want to understand the key moments, the outcomes, and importantly, what this history means for you trying to grasp the region today.
Absolutely. And thinking about this history is not just, academic. It gives you the essential context. It's crucial for understanding the dynamics, the challenges, the whole relationship between these two countries. It really shows the roots of issues that are still relevant now.
Exactly. So let's jump right in. Starting with that first major conflict, it happened almost straight away after partition.
That's the first Indo-Pak War, 1947 to 48. Its origin point was the princely state, Jammu and Kashmir. The core issue was its status after independence. Then you had Pakistan-backed tribal forces moving in, and the Maharaja, well, he acceded to India.
Right, and that decision pulled India directly into the fighting.
hmm And it ended up at the UN.
Which led to what exactly?
Well, the outcome was a UN-brokered ceasefire.
Yeah.
That took effect in 1949. And the really lasting result, it basically set up the division of Kashmir. It created what we now call the line of control, the Law Sea.
And that wasn't just temporary, was it? It became this really entrenched boundary.
Oh, absolutely. Shaped everything that came after, really.
Okay, so fast forward, what, nearly 2 decades, 1965, another big one, again, heavily focused on Kashmir.
Yes, 1965. This time, Pakistan launched something called Operation Gibraltar. The idea was to send irregular forces into Jammu and Kashmir, sort of hoping to spark a big rebellion against Indian rule.
But it didn't stay like that.
No, it escalated pretty quickly, actually. It turned into a full-blown conventional war between the two armies.
And the outcome of that 65 war?
It was intense. Heavy losses on both sides, definitely. It led to another UN ceasefire eventually. And then there was an attempt to sort of formalize the peace with the Tashkent Agreement in 66.
Yeah.
The Soviets mediated that one.
Tashkent. Right. Did it fundamentally change much on the ground?
Not really. It mostly just restored the borders to where they were before the war started. The core issues remained.
Okay, so the failure of that infiltration strategy, it didn't resolve things, but maybe shifted the focus. Which brings us to 1971, a really pivotal year.
Absolutely pivotal. 1971, the Third Indo-Pak War. This one wasn't just about Kashmir, though it was always there in the background. The trigger, the huge immediate cause, was Pakistan's military crackdown in its eastern wing, what was then East Pakistan.
Against the independence movement there, right. And that caused a massive humanitarian crisis.
Staggering. Millions of refugees flooded into India. It created immense pressure.
And India got involved directly, supporting the Bengali fighters.
Yes, India backed the Bengali Mukti Bahini
Mm-hmm.
and then ultimately launched a full military intervention, attacking on both fronts, East and West Pakistan.
And the result this time?
It was decisive. A clear Indian victory, and it fundamentally changed the map of South Asia.
Leading to the creation of Bangladesh.
Exactly. But the scale of the military outcome itself was also huge.
How so?
Well, one of the most striking things was the surrender. Over 90,000 Pakistani soldiers surrendered in the East.
90,000. Wow.
Yeah, it's one of the largest military surrenders since World War II. It wasn't just a number. It signified a major defeat for Pakistan and really shifted the power balance in the region.
That number really does stick with you. Okay, jumping ahead again. After 71, there was a period without major conventional war, but then came Kargil in 1999.
Right, Kargil. And this was a bit different. It started when Pakistani soldiers, along with militants, infiltrated and took over strategic Indian army posts high up in the Kargil sector of Ladakh.
They did this during winter when those posts were usually empty.
Precisely, taking advantage of the extreme conditions when the posts were vacated.
And India's response was Operation Vijay.
Correct. India launched Operation Vijay. It was a major military operation to push back the infiltrators and recapture that territory. Tough mountain warfare.
And the result there wasn't quite like 71, was it? External factors played a role.
Yeah, India did manage to retake most of the key positions, but also there was significant international pressure, especially from the U.S., pushing for a withdrawal. That pressure ultimately led to Pakistan pulling back its remaining forces.
So those are the big wars. But there have been other significant incidents, ongoing things too.
Definitely. Worth briefly mentioning a couple. There's the Siachen conflict. It really kicked off around 1984, often called the world's highest battlefield.
Because Indian forces hold positions on the glacier heights.
Exactly. Strategic heights on the Siachen Glacier. It's an incredibly challenging place to maintain troops, logistically and just in human terms. A constant source of tension.
And anything more recent that stands out?
Well, the 2016 surgical strikes, these were actions India took across the line of control after an attack on its army base in Uri. It represented a different kind of military response, compared to the full wars or the Kargil conflict. More limited, targeted strikes.
Okay, right. So let's just quickly pull this together for you listening. We've walked through the major conflicts. The First War in 47-48, setting up the LOSA. The 65 War, again, focused on Kashmir. The really transformative 71 War, creating Bangladesh with that huge surrender.
Hmm.
And then the high-altitude Kargil conflict in 99, plus these ongoing tensions like Siachen and specific incidents like the 2016 strikes.
So when you look at this whole sequence, this pattern, you see recurring flashpoints like Kashmir. You see different scales of conflict, different outcomes, division, decisive victory, withdrawal under pressure. It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Right.
What does this persistent pattern tell us about the deep, enduring challenges in the India-Pakistan relationship? And how do these specific historical results continue to shape what's possible, or maybe what isn't, for peace and stability in South Asia right now?
Yeah, definitely something to keep in mind when you see the headlines coming out of the region.